It's your partner, raw player Rod. We're gonna turn it up a notch and chop it up. Now let's do it one more time. It's your player partner, raw player Rod. We're gonna turn it up a notch and chop it up. I got solutions. Check me out. Now I'm gonna chop it up and turn it up. It's your player partner, raw player Rod. I got solutions. We're gonna turn it up a notch and chop it up. Yeah.
Turn me up!
We be going overtime. We be going overtime.
What them haters are saying. Tell me what you want. They gon' make me ride on this one, nigga.
We be going overtime. We be going overtime. We be going overtime. Take it. We be going overtime. We be going overtime. We be going overtime.
Y'all gon' make me come out.
Chop it up.
Be paying a pimp, man. And these fools just can't understand.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You know who it is and what it is. Your boy Sos Dior and the Chop It Up podcast. It's been a minute since we started recording again, so just want to welcome y'all to season 2. This season is going to be primarily focused on different artists who are making moves in the scene. And so, with no further ado, I'd like to welcome Raw Player Rod to the show. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man.
Appreciate you.
Man, you actually been doing a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, like, really, this was, like, an opportunity really just to sit down with you and talk to you about, like, what's really going on. Because, like, I feel like we're crossing paths, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, you're doing one thing, I'm doing one thing, and we always keep talking about linking back up. And
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, so with that being said, like, you know, just give the audience a little bit of background about, like, you know, what you've been up to lately. And
Well, I've just been putting out new music. I just put out 2 new singles, Snitch Invasion and Thou Shalt Pimp, on all platforms, YouTube, all platforms. Check my IG, my Instagram and stuff like that, Raw Player Rod. And besides that, I've been trying to work on, you know, getting my music published, just, you know, getting all the paperwork done and stuff like that, all the legalities and stuff, so I can move forward the right way. So, you know, so that's what I've been behind the scenes doing. But besides that, just putting out music, man.
yeah, so I don't think a lot of artists or just fans realize how much paperwork goes into trying to release a project. You know, like share with the fans, like, a little bit about, like, what the process is like, because I feel like the fans, they hear the music and they're just like, I like it or I don't, right? And they're quick to write it off within 15 to 30 seconds, right? But they don't realize, like, hey, it's not just going into the studio recording it. Hey, it's not just working with a producer or you know, working with a mastering engineer, right? There's a lot that goes into it. So, like, I'll let you share, like, the behind the scenes of the publishing, because if I say, they're just like, oh yeah, so it's just talking shit again. But hearing it from someone else, I think, brings a different perspective. So, like,
well, see, I'm just now getting into the publishing. Okay. And because I was familiar with it, and I was familiar with it, but now I'm going through, I've already did all my music, so I just jumped out there and did a lot of music. So now I'm having to backtrack. So that's like, so it's good to already have your ducks in a row to do this thing, like you said, like, when you put out your music, know who, you know, already have the producer, already have who's the publisher. I'm at the, you know, the executive producer. If you're the producer, the person who is spending the money is the executive producer. You own the masters. You got the right to publish the music, and you know, and then you have splits. It can get complicated with splits and stuff like that. So you can give your the beat maker part of your split. what I'm learning is, because I used to think that you always split with them 100. But what I'm learning is that you, just by you saying where your words and stuff is, and any little rearrangement, that you're co-producer
Right.
of the song. And really, that
what he's referring to, y'all, is it's what we call like split or sheet splits, or but it gets really technical depending on the more amount of people that are on the project, and so the paperwork gets to be a lot longer and more tedious, and making sure you got everything situated correctly. Because man, I had a story that one of my partners told me about, like where everything was good. They put the project out. He produced the project.
Yeah.
And then the artist put the project out, and then the artist came back saying, "Oh no, you didn't have the rights to use my voice."
Right. Wow.
So it pulled this whole project off of platforms, right?
Yeah.
And like they were doing it just to be like an asshole, and like what people don't realize is like when that happens, or like if you don't have your paperwork and someone comes back and is like, "Oh, you don't have the rights to it," they'll take all your shit down. Like if you have one song on a 15-track album, they'll take the whole album down. So it's really important to have your paperwork correct the first time, because it'll keep from having delays. On the flip side, so my artist name originally was Sosi when I was in Canada, back when we used to sell it out the trunk.
Yes.
And so when I came back to the States and started recording it, I went to drop my first album, I go to put it under my name as usual, right? Well, somebody else was going by my name by that point.
Yeah.
But the difference was they had already started their digital trail, whereas I hadn't.
Yeah.
So I tried to go back and, get it all fixed. Well, long story short, I had to change all my paperwork, had to release it under Sos Dior.
Yeah.
Which is how that all came about, was because, the paper trail wasn't adding up. It was putting my music under their artist name, and it just got really ugly really quickly. So same thing, it was a learning process.
I've dealt with that. I've dealt with some names and not having it, because I'd like to have my stuff copywritten and or trademarked and stuff like that. Because originally I was going to come out as Rodzilla.
Oh yeah.
Right, but someone, even though I may have had the name first. However, if you don't come out with the name first, you don't make your you don't publish it first on digitally on the internet, or on video, then you didn't do it first.
Right.
And that's okay. I'll be Raw Player Rob first.
Yeah.
That's it.
So speaking
and if I get big enough, I'll just I'm still Godzilla, but you know what I mean? I can still I'm still Godzilla too, to my friends and stuff. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, you were talking about your 2 singles that you just released.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Like who produced the tracks? Like I've heard "Thou Shall Not Pimp." I didn't hear the second one because I didn't know you released that one yet. But who's your main producer right now that you're working with on your projects? And
right now, I get most of my beats from BeatStars. Yeah, and I deal with Big Bro Beats, Rob Evan, I think. Rob Evan. I got Doggy Charles is from the guy who did Thou Shalt Pimp.
Okay.
And those are kind of some of my go-to guys, Big Bro Beats and Doggy Charles. And that Thou Shalt Pimp it's sort of one of those just old West Coast with a north feel, like a Northwest, West Coast, nostalgic 90s with a new twist. I call it like Mac to the Future, like Back to the Future, but it's Mac stuff, player pimp stuff, so I call it Mac to the Future.
Trademark it.
Yeah. There you go.
So I'll be honest, I work with a lot of producers who, same thing, they post on BeatStars or YouTube or whatever. Just out of curiosity, when you work with producers, do you, as far as publishing and stuff, do you buy them exclusively, or do you just work with the producer to like just like working with budgets, or like what is your take on that?
Well, I believe I don't buy them exclusively,
Okay.
although I believe in buying them exclusively. I once always bought them exclusively. However, I had a long hiatus.
Yeah.
So I'm recently being introduced to all this new style of getting beats on email and
Right.
over the internet. I mean, I'm completely new to this.
Right.
And how cheap they are. You know what I mean? Like, what? However, that's why they're so cheap, is because they're non-exclusive, and you can't really do too much with I mean, you could do something, but not too much, and that's as far as making money. And so that's why I really don't like that, because I feel like you have to go back and negotiate, or, and that's what I'm doing now, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to get paid, man.
Yeah.
And I believe in, they took a lot of the money. I believe that it was they took a lot of the money out of hip hop, and I think it was because of the demographics that it was enriching, and with streaming. So now a lot of the money is only in touring or sync licensing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be doing some sync licensing, it's going to be best to have exclusive rights.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going back now. I'm about to probably go back and renegotiate, hey, let me give you some more money, and get these licenses, because I'm trying to make money. That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this. I would do it for free. However, it's time for me to make some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have never had no rap money like I'm supposed to. As a matter of fact, I can't wait to do a song. I ain't never had no rap money. I'm trying to do it before I have some rap money. So I'm like, I'm trying to get some rap money, but I need to hurry up and do that song before I really get some. Because the only rap money I ever got was from a copyright infringement lawsuit, and so, see, that I am very familiar with the copyright aspects.
Yeah.
That's how I got me some money when I needed the most, man. I had negotiated an 15% distribution deal way back in 1991. I might be the first person in hip hop to do it. Who knows? But I didn't bring it out first. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it wasn't honored. But I heard, like, years later, I heard people having these type of deals and getting 30 million or 100 million, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, I had that deal, with Macola Records. I had looked on the back of a NWA album in the 80s, and they accept cussing and stuff like that. See, we had a group called the Pretty Boy Gangsters that I formed in 1985 with two dudes, one from Oakland and one from Vallejo. And we all met up in Alaska. We're all Californians. I was born in LA, raised a little bit in Texas. I was an Alaskan kid that had come down there for summers. So me and three Californians all meet up in Alaska, and we formed a group called Pretty Boy Gangsters in '85. And what trips me out, we were so ahead of our time, because this was before NWA. We all had long Jerry curls and stuff like that. So when Too Short came out to the public in Alaska, they thought they were my friends from the Bay, because they always used to try to rap, and they were always saying the B word. Well, they were always saying bits. They thought it was Killer and Derek. It was Derek Martin and Corvell Sutton. These were my best friends growing up, and we formed the Pretty Boy Gangsters. And I negotiated I was real book smart and stuff, and street smart. I had my own label back then, and studio and stuff. I would give me and Killer, I would give him the money for the studio and stuff like that. He did the beats. I would write some of his raps. He was like the Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, and I was like the Ice Cube and Eazy-E.
Okay.
Because when I say Eazy-E, because we both spent our dope money.
Yeah.
to buy our little CDs and our little cassettes and even our vinyl. We had vinyl. This how long ago it was.
Yeah.
You know, and you can Google this stuff. And some of our songs were on big compilations with big names like Dr. Dre, King T, Ice-T, you know, because this was a long time ago.
Right.
And we were from Alaska, but we were Californians. And we didn't, on our you know, on our little album, only one song. It was, what was it? K the Buster. That's the main one that, you know, that was circulating way back then.
Okay.
But 20 years later, I guess through the magic of the internet, you know, he was, you know, looking it up, or had someone looked it up, and they found our stuff, and we weren't getting paid, you know. It was all over the internet, and we ended up getting a lawsuit when I needed it the most. I was behind bars in prison, wrongly convicted, sentenced to 22 years for ghost dope. And I wrote books about it. I was fighting. Hey man, I kid you not, so if there was one person's probably most responsible for getting the federal drug laws changed, like you know, without a bunch of help from like someone on the outside, or a big name, or someone with money, I swear to God, it probably had to be me, man. I was in there writing. They was laughing at me. Rod, you write Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton? I sure did. Every president, I wrote 4 presidents up in there for, you know, for every 4 years, and and Obama did a double. I was back there that long writing, trying to get up out of there, man. And it got to the point where no one would help me, so I started offering to help them. Well, let me help you out. Maybe some of this help will trickle down to me, and that's what happened.
So, you know, you've mentioned that to me personally before, like about like what happened. My question is this, because I've met a couple of men that were wrongfully accused of things that served a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they did 22. I think one did 15 and another one did like 18.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep from having malice in your heart? You know what I'm saying? Because like, I know for me, like, man, there's been people who did me dirty for like $30, and I'm like, man, fuck you, nigga. Like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I choose not to act out of violence. I might put it on a record, but for me, it's not malice. But I'm saying, like, to serve that much of your life, knowing that you were wrongly, you know, like,
to take time, and because time is, you learn, if you don't know, that time is the most precious gift that we have, because it's life. Yeah. Time is basically, essentially life itself. So, I'm glad you asked that, because I was angry. I was in there. I'm not as nice as people think, you know. Well, as a matter of fact, I am actually really nice now, because I had to change.
Right.
I had to completely change my thinking, or I would have killed somebody, for real. And not just one, plenty. You know, because I believe in. I grew up on retaliation as a must, man. You know, and being a man, and if you can't whoop someone, go get something to whoop them with. You know what I mean? Or go get somebody to whoop them with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how we were raised. You know.
Yeah.
So, and I did that. I do that with the government too, man. I was after them, man. I was beating the government, man. I was kicking them up in their ass, man. The feds. I put that on everything, man. You can Google it, man. This is what they don't want nobody to know, man. The judge said I was the smartest person in the courtroom, man. You know what I mean? I was getting up, standing up there, talking about, I object, Your Honor. Then they have to sustain that. You know what I mean? They have to. You know what I mean? They have to. Yeah. They have to see that. They got to see that. My lawyer sit back. He's like, no, I don't got nothing. Hey, I do. Yeah, he needs to have something. Yeah, it was ugly, man. And then I got up there. I was showing my ass, man. I got up there and was telling them what they were going to do before they did it. I was like, hey, what you guys are gonna do is you guys are gonna, you're gonna procedurally bar me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna deny me my rights. Try to keep this all on record, and then use the procedures to bar me because you can't use the actual facts, of the case and actual evidence. You know what I mean? And I told them they were gonna do that, and that's what they did.
Wow.
And yeah, it was ugly, man. Listen, man. I filed motions and stuff, and they had the bailiffs and stuff trying to get me to take a deal. They told just me, nobody else. We could go to court. There's a whole bunch of big old, how a conspiracy. So there's a whole bunch of people going to court. I'm the only one they told not to talk to the judge. I said, "Hey, judge, they told me not to talk to you. Is that what y'all got going on?" And the judge was like, "No, you're able to talk." All that. Yeah, so I was back there learning about prosecutorial misconduct. Well, I've been knowing about that stuff because I was one of the few people who the government has been doing wrong for a long time, or trying to. Because back when I was young, I was kicking them in their ass, man. They couldn't fuck with me. They had campaigns against me and everything. Waiting outside my house. Man, the policeman told me after one of the cases I beat, you know what I mean? He told me it was an honor to meet you, man, and pleasure to meet you, man. That's why, you know why? Because when I got pulled over, he pulled a gun out, and my daughter was in the car. And I said, "Put that gun away. My daughter's in the car." And I said it just so, just with just heartfelt and meaning it, that he put the gun away. I swear to God, on my mother's grave. No one's ever seen the cop put the gun away, man. My daughter got out the car. And I've been telling her, your daddy's best daddy in the world. She said it like it was scripted. "What are you doing with my daddy? Why are you messing with my daddy? He's the best daddy in the world." That must have played over in that cop's head. He told me I used to, after I beat the case, because I sent the bitch down here to Seattle from Alaska, you know what I mean? Yeah. Had somebody go send us some money. That's what I used to do, play over their heads, especially when you do it before the indictment. That's what you do. Get them to sign an affidavit. That was one of my main ones. Get the case dropped before the indictment. They give you 10 days to do an indictment. You get like hey man, have somebody do an affidavit or something like that. Yeah. I used to beat them, and they was mad about that, man, up there in Alaska, and the feds. And see, but another thing, a lot of times I wasn't guilty.
Right.
It was because I used to sell drugs. They couldn't catch me. They started. They were upset, man. I caught cases while at home, alone with the flu. Yeah. I rap about it in Charismatic Leader. I said, Roderick Williams versus United States. This ain't fake, this is real high stakes. If you read, go look it up, read the case. Government corruption all in your face. I said, emergency injection, judge, don't let them kill me. I got proof they framed me, and no one will help me. That's real stuff, man.
Yeah.
You can actually look that stuff up. I was killing them. And then after 3 years later, look how God works. 3 years later, after I filed complaints to the bar associations, filing motions to the judge. I'm writing the media. I'm writing the judge's judge with the appeal judge, the supreme judge. Okay, you know how you go in the store and say, "Let me talk to your manager." That's what I was doing. I was doing that in the court. "Let me talk to y'all manager." Okay, go. Bring me the other one. Send it to them. Man, I was filing stuff in the Supreme Court. I got to the point where I was jumping in other people's cases, you know what I mean, to the Supreme Court, filing stuff with the Supreme Court. Like they had one, I think it was one where they were talking about using relevant conduct. It wasn't Bivens. It was one of these cases. I actually, you know how like the Supreme Court, they decide precedent and stuff, and they were asking like who wants to have a say-so in it, almost like they do in the community. They'll say, "Hey, come down to the community if you want to hear what's going on." So I throw my 2 cents in with the Supreme Court. I was doing all that stuff back there. So I was still breaking new ground and trailblazing. It was just in different areas.
Right.
And that's what I believe in, being a trailblazer, you know, being a pioneer. That's what Alaska, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alaska rap pioneer, that's me, Raw Player Rob. And yeah, very fresh in the flesh, you know what I mean? The real thing, you know what I mean? Started this stuff. I put the North and Northwest, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So speaking of that, like where can people like hear you perform, or like what do you got going on, like as far as like for the rest of the year and 25 and
Right now, I'm doing downtown Seattle. I think it's off 2nd at the Rendezvous. They're doing open mics every first and third Wednesday. Every first and third Wednesday of the month. I've been trying to catch them and, you know, just go showcase my talent. And let me see, I'm supposed to be doing something in Kent at 110 Railroad Way with Antonio Cuts, GMC.
Oh, yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to GMC.
Yeah,
Supposed to be
yeah.
doing something with him, you know. And then besides that, recently, you know, I did BET Weekend.
Right. I was waiting for you.
That was so awesome. I could not believe, that's where I was born. So for me to go back on some rap stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just like, that's God, man. Hey, man, hip-hop saved me in prison. Like I said, I was in prison, wrongfully convicted, sentenced to 22 years. Nothing came through for me, man. I had a bride used to give me $5,000 or $6,000 sometimes in one day. She wasn't around. I used to make anywhere sometimes $5,000 to $15,000 a day. Now, not all profit. Now, I never made 15,000 profit, but I did make 5, 6, 7, you know, maybe even 8 or 9, you know, not every day, but in a day. You know what I mean?
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, and I didn't have none of that. You wouldn't believe. I wrote a book called Ku Klux Courts, sent money out to get it published, and got the money stolen from family. I mean, I was going, yeah. And I was like, and then they put my book on hold, and then a lady named Michelle Alexander came out with a book almost exactly like mine about a year later called The New Jim Crow. Mine's, yeah. And I used to think that the feds had went in my property because my stuff was just collecting dust while they moved me around, you know, because I had filed a writ saying I was wrongfully convicted, and they flew me to Alaska to hear my case, then flew me back to Seattle, flew me back to Alaska, flew me back to Seattle, flew me back to Alaska, flew me back to California without ever even hearing my case. They was making it seem like to Washington, D.C. that they were like really, you know, because Washington, D.C. was like basically saying, hey, what's going on? Why does this guy keep writing us saying he's got proof you guys framed us, that he's in prison with 100% proof that he's framed, and that his prosecutors, James Gecky and what's the other guy, Joseph Bottini, were found to be corrupt in a U.S. Justice Department investigation. 3 years after, and a special prosecutor investigation.
Hey, I ain't gonna
Do you
lie.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so basically what I'm saying is, I got some stuff like Deep Throat, like the Watergate stuff, where I'm the black person who really knew all the stuff ahead of time. Like, I knew they were corrupt, but no one listened to me. They was like, yeah, well, you're doing it to some dude, you know, he's a player. He used to have that long hair, you know what I mean? Have all the broads and stuff. He's black and just too articulate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, an uppity N-word, you know what I mean? That's what they were at. They was, you know, they did me like they did Obama. They was like, oh, he's very articulate. You know how they know? He's very clean and articulate. That's how they were doing me in court, man. Yeah, I used to beat him, man. Yeah.
That, you know, it's interesting you bring that up, because like, I ain't gonna lie, the fact that you even remember their names, like not just their name, you remember their first name, their last name.
Man, I used to remember all the Supreme Court justices in Washington, D.C. Like, I haven't kept up with it in a long time. Like, most all of, you have no idea. Like in almost all the states, I usually know like the senators or like most of the ones that are in important states or something like that maybe deal with criminal justice reform.
Right.
The ones that are in those committees in Washington D.C. that have something to do with criminal justice reform and things like that. Yeah, I used to know all that type of shit, and I still know a lot of it. You know what I mean? Some of the, the judges, Ninth Circuit judges, you know what I mean, that tried to, like Alex Kaczynski and stuff like that, and, who later on in life tried to mention a little bit about prosecutorial misconduct, even though he let that shit go. You know what I mean? But then they come and try to, later on, like, yeah, there was some yeah, but you didn't do nothing about it, but rubber stamp it. Him and everyone, that's what I learned, that they rubber stamp anything, because that's a way of getting paid without doing your job.
Yeah.
The judges are just as corrupt as the prosecutors, because a lot of people that are in criminal justice reform, they're always just talking about the police and profiling. But they don't know that for every person that gets killed, there's about at least 20 or 30 that's wrongly convicted. Or illegally convicted.
Did y'all hear what he just said? Yeah, hey, spit that back, bro, because
for every one person that's killed by a crooked or racist cop, just think about that. Murder is the last resort. Like that's even though we see it a lot in this country, it's actually rare in comparison to wrongful convictions, and not just wrongful convictions, excessive punishment, things like that, or illegal convictions. Because sometimes people could be guilty but convicted illegally.
Right.
And then sometimes they can be convicted illegally and be innocent, like I was. And then I caught him in other words, red-handed, like we used to like to say. I caught him red-handed. And basically, what could they do? Because they can't just say, what are we going to do? Drop your case and let a dude that raps and
no, they was trying to make an example.
They made they made an example out of me. When I got to the Fed, they were like, who did you piss off? Because they sent me to the high. The dude who I was supposed to be his right-hand man, basically the alleged big drug dealer in my case, went to a medium. They had me at the high. I went to the place where they were shanking people. Hold on. Then they had the dudes with the tattoos on their eyes and face. I'm from Alaska, man. I had the glasses on. They had me in the black box. It was like I was Hannibal Lecter for being smart and having the nerve and the gall. You know what I mean? No, for real, man. Yeah, because I was standing up I was like, no, prosecutorial, no, I ain't taking no damn deal.
Yeah, no, I did that once. I took I took a bad deal that I shouldn't have, but it wasn't until afterwards that I realized, I'm like, prosecutors really ain't, they're not there to be just or fair,
and they're supposed to. That's what I'm saying. That's what I learned, that their job is just as much to free the innocent as it is to convict the guilty, but they don't get paid. I mean, how can you judge that? Who do you know is innocent? You have to actually really work. And if you really work, that would take up time.
Right. And
you would get less convictions. You would be doing your job better, but you get less convictions, and someone might think you're not doing your job.
Right.
And that's what happens. That's why they just go after the convictions.
It's all about the wins.
Yeah, and so we really have a conveyor belt justice system of injustice. It's like fast food justice. It's terrible, man. Yeah. And so that's something, even though I let my hair down and some of my little pimp player stuff, that's one of my, something that's true to my heart and that means something to me. It's kind of just teaching people about the injustices and racism in the criminal justice system, but also at the same time, you don't want to overdo it and just we don't want no criminal justice system. Come on. We don't want no cops. No, we don't want bad cops. We don't want overzealous cops. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Because then you overdo it, and then people come right back to, see, you were wrong. No, man. Do stuff right, man. Stop using a hammer and use a scalpel to fix these problems. That comes back to I got solutions.
Yeah.
That's another one I want to talk about. That song, speaking of groundbreaking, that song has real, actual solutions for police reform. No one's ever done that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, groundbreaking. And the solutions are better than any lawyer or judge or politician has ever come up with. You listen to I Got Solutions and just think about the stuff. I'm telling them, I'm saying, hey, why not, before you hire a cop, see if he's racist, see if he's corrupt. Then after a shooting, make him take a lie detector. Then maybe do it once a month, or once every month, or every other month, randomly. How about have independent citizens commission to investigate? You see what I'm saying? Police shootings, instead of having prosecutors who work with cops every day. Another one I came up with was putting police complaints online, like having a national database for police complaints, or police and prosecutor complaints. Have a national database, because they're moving those police around like the priests, the child molesting priests back in the days. Remember how they used to move them around, and then they did a big huge lawsuit because of it. Well, why are you letting cops do the same thing?
Yeah.
You remember the little priests were supposedly molesting children, and then they after you guys didn't even fire them, all you did was move them to another one. You're putting other people at risk. Well, aren't you putting other people at risk when you put these crooked cops, these psycho cops, these mentally ill cops? Get them people some help, man. They're human beings, man. Take them off the street. Not only are you not caring about their victims, you acting like you guys don't even care about the cops themselves. Get them off the street. If they're angry, they're antsy, they're in fear, and all this other stuff, you're training them bad. Come on, man, stop that shit.
Yeah, I've been diving deeper into just like understanding like what goes on behind the scenes, and it's crazy. Like, I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But it's interesting, and like people don't realize like the voting process, like, and how important it is, because when you don't vote, you allow different objectives to be,
that's right,
put into play. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, well, wait a minute, hold on, we don't want that. And it's like, well, no, it's too late. You already done signed it for 2 years, 4 years, whatever,
I think there's a movie called, I'm not sure, it might be called It's a Wonderful Life, or It's a Wonderful World with James Stewart.
Yeah, the black and white movie.
The black and white movie with Clarence the Angel, where you get to see what life was like if you're not in it. See, I got to do that, like Dead Man Walking. Under their breath, I hear them talking, they call me Dead Man Walking. I was in that situation. And I seen how life changed. My family, my friends, even society, your community. You just don't understand how things change if you don't speak up, if you don't make your mark. Everyone is so important. It's so important for everyone to to just be, and to speak up. Like you said, if you don't speak up, your ideas are important. You count, you matter. People want you to speak up. They don't know you. People just think people. There's so many people, they're ignorant. They think black people think white people are racist. White people think black people are racist, and a lot of them aren't. You haven't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to. Everyone has to tell their experiences. Everyone has to, like me, I grew up in upper middle class white neighborhood. Not my whole life, but most of my life, I was accepted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was accepted everywhere I go. I don't know nowhere I wasn't accepted except one. I went down south. I went to LA. I went to the Bay. I went everywhere I was accepted. until I sat down at a crib table in Atwater, California Penitentiary. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. That was the first time in my life that I wasn't, that someone said, like, why? I was like deeply offended. I was born in LA. You know what I mean? I was like, well, where the ballers, where the players sit? Where the players and the ballers sit then? You know, but you know, I really did learn that. I was in California prisons for like 11, 12 of my 16 years. I didn't do the whole 22 years that I was sentenced to because I promised to kill somebody if I did. I promised to kill up a whole bunch of people. And I said that the laws were changed before I did that time. I swear to God, I said, these laws are changed before I do all that time, and the laws did. You know, they hadn't been changed in probably 100 years, but I said they was gonna change. And I swear to God, that's what happened. And I wrote them to get them changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I ain't saying I did it, but I will say I came in the door writing Congress. I swear to God, I came in writing all executive branch, legislative, judicial branch, and the fourth branch, which is the media. I came in writing all real. Organizations, all, you know, I started writing other countries, letting them know what America was doing, man. I heard from other countries. I heard from a king. The king responded from one of them countries, one of them European countries, man. One of the king, or you know, his people responded, man. It's, you know, they just let me know.
You know, it's funny is that I'm willing to bet you, if a rapper saw this episode, they couldn't tell you the different branches. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the times have changed. Like, I mean, the fact that people really need to tap into your music and really listen to what you're saying. You know, because for me, like, you know, even earlier, I was with one of my boys and we was talking about just like musically, like, you know, like for me, I hear static.
Chop it up.
It'll just go in one ear and out the other, you know, because people are like, oh, well, you know, it sounds cool. They might bob their head to it, but they ain't hearing what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I have conversations with people all the time about, yo, you got to really listen to it. Like, are they actually saying something of substance, or are they just rapping about any and everything on the beat? Like, if that's the case, I don't got time to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know, but like, you know, there's been rappers who talk about it in the industry where they're like, you know, like they have agendas on like what rappers talk about nowadays.
Yeah.
But for me, it's really understanding like that breath of fresh air where it's like you actually learn something from listening to your music.
Right.
It's like I feel like hip hop's gotten away from that where like, you know, like for example, like, you know, back when the Queen Latifahs was rapping, and, you know what I'm saying, like we lost that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like for me, I was talking to a producer from Atlanta, his name's Born P, because I was just in Atlanta last week, and like he asked me, he called me on the phone, he's like, hey, so it's like I need to know like what is your goal, what is your like why do you do what you do? And I was like, man, because I'm trying to be different, like I'm not trying to be cookie cutter. You're not hearing me talking about all the, you know, the stuff that these rappers is talking about, right? And he was like, okay, I can fuck with you. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, you should be wanting to fuck with me because you see what my catalog looks like. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm deep in the game, bro. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for him, it was listening to me speak and articulate like how I'm different. You know what I'm saying? That's what really got him to want to be like, okay, cool, like I can do something with that. And I was just like, well, why are you trying to check me, fam? Like, boy, Pete, when you watch the episode, I'm talking about you, my guy. You didn't have to check me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but it's crazy because like just musically, like people forgotten I remember when I started growing up listening to hip hop, for me it was always about, you know, who got that witty bar and that like makes you go, wait, run that back, and you know, you would sit there and you put it in reverse on the tape deck, and you'd be like, yo, wait, what did he say? Hold on. You know what I'm saying? And so like,
what I'm talking about.
I feel like what
happened to the rewinding of the tape? Like, to listen to like, that was so hard, you want to hear it again.
Yeah, you know, so for me, like, that's one of the things that I enjoy about your music. Like I said, I haven't heard the new songs, you know, but like, when I listen to like I Got Solutions, it's like, you literally have to listen to it like 20, 30, 40, 50 times.
That one I jam packed. That one, like, is probably like my most, as far as, because I don't set out to do that. Well, I set out to do it to some degree, at least, at least to have some substance.
Right.
But I didn't put. That one has religion. That one has like new age thinking, that positive thing. It's got criminal justice reform. It's got player stuff in it. You know, that thing has a lot of stuff in it, man. It really does. It, you know, because it kind of you know, because I'm saying let the Mac God speed up your evolution.
Right.
Keep saying to yourself, I don't got problems, I got solutions.
Right.
And it's a real mantra.
Right.
It's like, so it's sort of like I was saying about the reform proposals are actual real proposals that is a real a positive mantra that will really actually elevate your thinking and get you on the right path. You practice this. Like if you if you haven't been thinking like this for your whole life, you know, it's going to be
a process.
It's a process, and you over and over, like you start thinking like that, answers are going to start coming to you, man.
Man, it's funny you mention that, because like one of my boys over in Spokane was like, hey, so it's like you got to know what's going on in the scene, and I didn't care about politics. I was never into that. I didn't care who was the hottest rapper.
Yeah,
bro, I will tell you, him having that conversation put me in a whole different category of just thinking and process of like how I view the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll save that for another episode, but man, like, it was a blessing, because like, it wasn't that I was naive. I mean, I have multiple degrees, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was a different form of thinking, right? Like, you can be book smart. I have 6 degrees. So,
that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that, you know what? No, you know what? We gotta give credit where credit is due. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're hip hop. You know what I mean? And you know they have those negative stereotypes about black people. So, you know, congratulations, brother. Yeah. I went to college too. I believe in education. I did it after pimping and selling a whole bunch of dope, and then I got with like a chick that was in college, beautiful blonde. Shout out to Courtney, and shout out to Courtney, and but she's the one who told me how easy it was to get into college. I was like, if my friends in the streets knew how easy it was to get into college, we wouldn't have been in prison.
Yeah.
Because we thought, I thought you had to do SATs. I didn't do no SATs. You just go down to the financial aid office and fill it out, and next thing you know, fill out what classes you want. Next thing you know, you're in school. Go to the counselor's office, and they do the rest for you, man.
Hey, speaking of school,
4.0 GPA. I maintained a 4.0 GPA just on my first semester, and then it went downhill from there because I was worried about my money. I had stopped selling dope and everything. What, you know what I mean? Bitch came to my house, was like trying to get with me. Rod, I'm trying to choose. I said, I don't do that no more. Yes, you do. You're MC Rod. No, I'm not, bitch. I'm raw player Rod.
Wow.
I said MC Rod back in the Pretty Boy Gangsters. I couldn't come up with. I'm the man of many names. And last guy was King Rod, MC Rod, Pimp Rod, Player Rod, Success the Pimp. You know what I mean? Yeah, Roddy Rod. Yeah. So,
well, I know we almost at time. So, like, if there's one thing you want the fans to know about you, outside of like, just like the judicial side of things, what do you want your fans to take away about you as an artist, and like where you're trying to go with your music?
Man, I just, in Alaska, everyone, a lot of people know that I'm like a pioneer. I'm like, you know what I mean? And they know it. I just want the world to know that, man, I've been doing this. A lot of people are going to say I sound like a lot of people, but a lot of people might sound like me. I might be somebody's favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know, because I've been around, man. I got around. I said, the dummy stole my flow, but bro, they ain't real as this. You've been hearing me for years, the niggas. I'm up in ventriloquist. You know what I mean? No, for real, man. I've been up and down the West Coast influencing people, man. I've been cloning people and in my little lab making other players and pimps, man. For real, man. Raw player Rod. I'm trying to be the rap guy. To the Most High, all glory to God.
Hey man, well I appreciate having you on the show. We'll definitely have to bring you back. On that note, before I forget, so one thing I like to do is I like to send people home with something.
Okay.
These are some so one of the one of my sponsors that I work with is Killian Corn Popcorn. So for those of y'all who haven't tapped in, got you some delicious popcorn. Definitely check out Killian's Corn. But I wanted to send you home with these just so you can try them out and see what you think.
Right.
But man, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Awesome, thank you, man.
And once again, I'll make sure I tag him and send you guys the links and stuff for his music. You guys can check it out.
Raw Player Rod, the Alaskan Mac guy. Check me out, y'all.
Until the next episode, you know who it is and what it is.
Sos Dior, thank you, man.
All right. Appreciate it. We be going over time. We be going over time. We be going over time. Take it, limits. We be going over time. We be going over time. We be going over time. Take it, limits. We be going over time. We be going over time. We be going over time. Take it, limits. We be going over time. Take it, limits. We be going over time.